Welcome back to online French class. This is level 2, lesson 17, which starts on June 1st. And this is part 3. In this video, we're going to practice the irregular past tense because there's a lot of words you need to remember. You are probably watching this video between June 1st and June 14th. This video was filmed on May 29th, 2020. So in this video, we're going to use the guide to past tense and the list of irregular verbs. If you need these papers, they are on my website. So they will be in what week is this? Week 9? Yeah, they will be in week 9, the guide to past tense, if you need this. So let's review. In the past tense, we have regular verbs and we have irregular verbs. So the way I taught you how to do it is there are 4 steps. Step 1 is only for irregular verbs. And the rules 2, 3, and 4 are for regular verbs. Now, what are regular verbs? Regular verbs are verbs that end with ed in the past tense. Regular verbs. They end with... So when they end, I'm talking about the last letters. They end with ed. So the last letters of the word are ed in past tense. So these are regular verbs. So we have walk, use, and fry. We have walk, use, and fry. So walk is a regular verb because the past tense is walked. Use, used. Fry, fried. So all regular verbs end with ed in the past tense. But I also taught you what to do with spelling. So the word use ends with the letter E. So if we look at the guide to past tense, that's rule number 3. If the verb ends with the letter E, we just write D. So we get used. This is rule 3. Fry. Fry ends with the letter Y. So we change the letter Y to IED. This is rule 2. And then we have the word walk. Walk is just a regular word. So number 1 is no, number 2 is no, number 3 is no. Which means number 4, we just write ED. Rule 4. But it doesn't matter because all of these are the same because they end with ED. So all regular verbs end with ED in the past tense. This is easy. I know you already know this. Now we have the irregular verbs. These are the verbs that don't end with ed or the word is different. So irregular verbs, they don't end with ed or the word is different in past tense. So today, we're practicing some irregular verbs to make sure you remember. Because irregular verbs, they have no rules. Irregular verbs, they have no rules. You just need to remember them. That's why it's so difficult. So, once again, the guide to past tense. Rules 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rules 2, 3, and 4 are for regular verbs. They all end with ed. Rule number 1 is for irregular verbs. With irregular verbs, you need to remember them. So we use the list of irregular verbs to help you remember. And there's about 60 of them. So let's get started. So I have the list of irregular verbs in different groups. So the groups are based on like categories almost. So the first group is the important verbs. These are the ones we use every day, all the time. So we have to be. So am, I am, he is, she is, it is, and are. So when we have I am or he is, we say was. If we use are, we change are to were. Do, did, have, had, make, made, go, went, can, could, will, would. So we use can and will in present tense, and we can use could and would in past tense. We can also use could and would if we're asking someone to help us. And now we know that in Unit 10, we can use the word would if we want to ask, do you want something? We can say, would you like? So, by now, you should know all of the words here. So I want you to say them with me. Let's see if we can do this without looking. Tell. What's the past tense of tell? Told. Say. Said. Let's go a little closer. Write. Wrote. How do you say this word? In present, you say read. In past, you say read. Read, read. Think, thought. Look, looked. See, saw. Remember, say is for said, and see is with saw. An easier way to remember see and saw is when you go to a playground with children, there's a toy they can play with where one child is on one side and there's another child on the other side. And then they go up and then they go down. What's this called? This is called a seesaw. This is called a seesaw at playgrounds. See, saw. All right, let's keep going. We have listen, listened. Hear, heard. Hear, heard. Smell, smelled. Taste, tasted. Feel, felt. Feel, felt. Know, knew. This one is confusing for a lot of people. This is know, and this is new. Know, knew. Understand, understood. Now, this group is about taking something. These are the verbs for taking. We have get, got, take, took, give, gave, buy. What's the past tense of the word buy? Bought. Buy, bought. Sell, sold. Pay, paid. Put, put. Hold, held. Bring, brought. Send, sent. And finally, we have movement. So this group is about moving. We have come, came, run, ran, drive, drove, stop, stopped, begin, began, sit, sat, leave, left. Okay, so now let's talk about writing in past tense. So a lot of people have problems with questions. So when we talk in the present tense and we have a question, we start the sentence with do or does. So if we ask a question like, does she walk the dog? Because we have a question, we start with the word does for she. Do or does when we have a question. Does she walk the dog? Well, in past tense, we change does or do to did. The verb after did stays the same. So, the verbs in this sentence are does and walk. Number 1 and number 2. So, when we want to change this sentence to past tense, we change does to did. Did she, and now we have the word walk. The verb after did stays the same. We only change the first verb, which is does. So walk stays the same. So when we have a question in the past tense, we say, did she walk the dog? We only need one word in past tense, and that word is the first verb. Usually it's the word did if you're talking about a question. Did she walk the dog? And the answer is we can say yes. She walked the dog. Because this is just a regular sentence about yes, we can just say she walked the dog. We change the word walk to past tense. But if we want to talk about no, we use a negative. Negatives, we have don't and doesn't in past tense, in present tense. But in past tense, we change this word to didn't. The verb after didn't stays the same. So the question is, did she walk the dog? So in present tense, we say, she doesn't walk the dog. She doesn't walk the dog. So now let's change the sentence to past tense. We change doesn't to didn't. The verb after didn't stays the same. So the verb walk, we write it the same. She didn't walk the dog. The only time we don't use do, don't, and didn't is with the word to be. So we used the rules for questions and negatives, the same for every verb except for the verb to be. To be is a little different. It's actually easier. Well, to be does not use the verb to do. To be does not use the verb to do. It's just okay without to do. Let me show you why. So when we ask a question with to be, we say, are you at the store? Are you at the store? See, this is a question, and it uses the word to be, the verb to be. But it does not use do. We don't say, do you be at the store? Do you be at the store? No, when we have to be, we actually don't need do. We can just say, are you at the store? So this is why this is actually easier in past tense, because we only need to change this word. So we say, were you at the store? All we need to do is change this to past tense. Easy, right? Let's talk about negatives. Negatives with to be. So we can say, I am not at the store. I am not at the store. So again, this is easy because we do not need to use to do. We can just change am to was. I was not at the store. So that's how you use the verb to be in past tense. It's actually easier because you don't need to do. Okay, so now let's finish the list of irregular verbs. Now I'm on the right side where it says other. So we have the word become, became. Okay, say it with me. Break, broke. Build, build, built. Build, built. Catch, caught. Catch, caught. Choose. So the way you can pronounce this word is C-H-U-Z, choose. Chose, C-H-O-Z. Choose, chose. Cut, cut. Drink, drank. Dry, dried. Eat, ate. Remember, we say 8 like the number, 8. Empty, emptied. Fall, fell. Fall, fell. Feed. Feed means to give food. So if you give someone food, if you make dinner for someone, you feed them. So feed, fed. Feed, fed. Find, found. Find, found. Fly, flew. Fly, flew. Forget, forgot. The word forget has the word get in it. Get, got. Forget, forgot. Freeze, freeze, froze. Fry, fried. Grow, grew. Grow, grew. This is similar to the word know. Know, knew. Grow, grew. Hide, hid. Hit, hit. It's the same. Hurt, hurt. the same. Keep, kept. Keep ends with E-E-P. Can you think of any more verbs that end with E-E-P? We have keep, we have sleep, we have sweep, keep, sleep, sweep. All of these words end with E-E-P. So when we change them to past tense, we have kept, slept, swept. Kept, slept, swept. Okay. Light, lit. Light, lit. So what can you light? Light is a verb. This is a candle. A candle has a fire on it. A candle has a flame. I light the candle. I lit the candle. Lose, lose, lost. Meet, met. Mop, mopped. Prefer, preferred. So what does prefer mean? I'm out of space. Prefer means you like something more. Oops, sorry, too small. You like something more than the other. Prefer means you like something more. So I have two markers here, a black marker and a blue marker. I prefer the black marker. I like the black marker more. I prefer it. Okay, so let's go in again. Prefer, preferred with two R's. Ride, rode. Rise, rose. What does rise mean? Rise means to go up. So when you go in an elevator, you can rise. In the summer, when the temperature goes up, the temperature rises. In the morning, the sun goes up, the sun rises. In the morning, the sun rose. Sing, sang. Sleep, slept. Spend, spent. Spend. Spend is like the word send. Send, sent. Spend, spent. Stand, stood. Understand, understood. Steal, stole. Sweep, swept. Swim, swam. Teach, taught. Throw, threw. Throw, threw. Try, tried. Wake, woke. Wear, wore. Win, won. So these are all of the irregular verbs. You should know most of these words already. So if you don't know them, please practice them. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And remember the rules for when you talk about the past tense in questions and in negatives. Okay? That is the end of lesson 17. Thanks for watching. Bye.